Gang, shouts out to the faithful boys in the building. Your boy been good, holding it down for P Warrior. And we got the big homie Tony in the building from the Nothing But Niners crew. Appreciate you joining us, bro. It
Yeah.
really is a privilege to have you. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Been checking
stop,
y'all
man.
out for a
Stop.
while. Nah, for real, bro. Like my brother put me on y'all a couple years ago. Been
Yeah.
checking y'all out and like seeing y'all doing what y'all been doing definitely made us want to do what we doing. So tip my hat to y'all and appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Great.
Oh,
Seriously, it's an honor to be on.
no doubt, bro. Uh Obviously coming off a big win against the Packers.
Mm,
Hard fought game, kind of ugly, but definitely showed resilience, for the team.
definitely.
Uh, I guess just tell us about, how you felt about the game last week, and then we could kind of chop it up about, what's going on this week.
Yeah, definitely. It was a tough game, right? We're going into Green Bay. It's 0 degrees outside, snowing. The finesse team from the Bay. So
Right.
we're going to Green Bay in cold conditions. You know, if there's a team that is going to succeed in that type of weather and climate, it's the 49ers, right? Because let's look at it. The 49ers do a lot of things well that require to be successful in that type of weather. They
True.
run the ball well, they play defense, and their special teams was really shaky this year, but that game they stepped up and played really well.
Big time.
Kudos to them and shout out to Coach Hightower. But if you watch the game, Arizona. Green Bay comes flying out the gate, right down the field. Devontae, touchdown, right? And I'm sitting here and we were doing the live show. I'm just like, Jesus God. I said, are you kidding me, man? So then they get up, they get in, they put 7 up, bang. They get the ball. Jimmy starts off shaky. I can't recall exactly play for play, but it wasn't a good start for the 49ers offense. I think we could all agree on that.
Yep.
But the interesting thing, right? On the first drive, I think they accumulated 6 first downs. The rest of the game, they got 8 first downs.
Big
So
difference.
clearly, D'Amico Ryans made a big adjustment. And part of the reason why he's able to make that adjustment, and part of the reason we're going to go, like if we touch on the Rams game, why the 49ers are so successful is because they can gain pressure with their front four without blitzing. Now, not a lot of teams could do that. Now, if you watch the Tampa Bay game and the Ram games, Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator from Tampa, just consistently was sending blitzes. And Stafford was smoking them. Stafford, I think, is rated 1 or 2 versus a blitz in the NFL this year.
Okay.
So now you go back to the Green Bay game, and it's kind of like, all right, well, now they could switch their coverage. They could disguise things. They could drop more. They could play man on one side, zone on the other. They could bracket Devontae Adams and say, beat me with this guy.
Right.
And it worked out to their favor. I mean, granted, the Niners didn't put a touchdown, they only put 1 touchdown on the board. But then again, I think so did the Packers. The final
Right.
score was 13-10, I think. It
Hmm.
was a final score 13-10. Yeah. So, you know, you have to throw into consideration, and it's not a knock against Green Bay. Green Bay has a really good defense this year. It's a lot better than what it was last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, the year before that, when we played them in the playoffs, we completely smoked them. But just like a lot of people say, like, Kyle Shanahan has McVay's number, I think the 49ers kind of have Aaron Rodgers' number.
I agree.
So, and you got to give it because the flexibility on the back end of that defense and how they could play so many different looks, so many different coverages and disguise all day because they can get home with 4. And the 49ers, the way they built this team, John Lynch, Adam Peters, Kyle Shanahan, they built it from the inside out, right? So they invested heavily in their offensive, defensive line, respectively. John Lynch played for Tampa Bay, played for Denver. Both those teams have phenomenal pass rushers, a deep defensive line. And that's what you need in the playoffs. You need consistent pressure. You need depth. You need to have fresh legs on the field. And, you take it back to 19 when we were in the Super Bowl, Why did we lose that game? Our defensive line had no depth and they were gassed.
Yeah, bro, that's what I was just
So
about to say.
back to the Packer game, the Niners had a lucky bounce their way. They had the block kick, the block field goal. Special teams stood up. Debo brought I think it was like a 48 or 50-yard return out the half. And I said that on nothing but Niners. Everyone's like, you're crazy. I said, how am I crazy? They hand the ball off them to throw it to him. It's a big game. Win or go home. You put your best man back there and let him do what he does best.
Definitely.
So, with that being said, you have to give a shout out to Kyle Shanahan because, in my opinion, everyone knocks him. I think he closed that game out to perfection. He said Aaron Rodgers is not going to do what he did to me in San Francisco in week 3. He's not doing it. So what do? You ground and pound, you hold that ball, and you win the game.
Nah, real. Nah, you're right on that, bro. And you was talking about the defensive line. I definitely agree with you that the difference between this year's team and the 19 team is the depth. You keep coming at them in waves. It's constant pressure, and it's pretty much no drop off. You know what I mean? And I think too, now that they got the linebackers, well, really just healthy. Period. They got the 3 linebackers. You got Ambry out there now, finally looking like he can play cornerback. So I think it's all coming together at the right time.
And they're healthy.
Yeah. And you talk about
that's the most important thing. And this is coming from a team that's been banged up the previous season. Now they come in, they had some injuries in the beginning of the year, mid-season. And now just when they need that team and just when they need the strength and the health to be full strength, they got it. So, and that's another thing. Adding Dre Greenlaw to this defense was a significant boost.
Big.
Right? Ambry Thomas had the time to learn, get up to speed, put a couple pounds on, gain some strength. Probably from week 1 training camp to like week, I think 13 when he started, 14, one of those weeks where he started. And clearly it's paying off. His experience, he consistently got better every game. And that's what you want to see in player development. You don't want to see one game, yay, boom, then he comes back down to life.
Right.
He consistently ascended instead of descended. So, it's all very encouraging.
It definitely is. Talk about DeMeco Ryans a little bit, because I think early on in the season, I think he's been doing a good job for the majority of the year. But to me, early on, I think, some questions about him. I think definitely of late, if he had any critics, he silenced them all. But just what you think about the job he's been doing?
I think he's been doing a very good job. But I'm also going to go back to one thing in the beginning of the year when they named him the defensive coordinator. I was kind of like, all right. He worked under Saleh. He knows Saleh. He's a former player. He's a former team captain. He was a middle linebacker. He controlled the defense, aligned the defense. He played in big games. So he's got that side of it all checked off, right? He checked all the boxes as far as that. But as far as play calling experience and making in and out of game, in-game adjustments, I was a little worried about it. So what the 49ers did, they named him the defensive coordinator, and they immediately went out and hired James Betcher. Okay. And when I saw this hire, I was like, wow. I said, Kyle and John Lynch are on their shit. They're giving him control, but they're giving him a senior assistant who was a former defensive coordinator and who, by the way, I think when he was defensive coordinator for the Giants and the Arizona Cardinals, they had top 8 defenses, respectively, for all his team, all of them. So now you've got a guy with experience with success in the league as a defensive play caller, and you're putting him with a young up-and-coming coach, right? Former player, knows the game, high IQ, is a film junkie, and you're putting him with that. So it's kind of like they worked together. And I'm not saying it's all Betcher. I'm just saying Betcher was there to help DeMeco maybe when he was a little stumped on something. And that's what you need. Yeah. So kudos to the Niners for doing that, giving him someone with a little more experience that's not going to overstep his boundary. So now if DeMeco does go, I think our next defensive coordinator will probably be James Betcher, if you ask my honest opinion.
Okay.
But if you look at the way they play, right? They run Saleh's former scheme, like the cover 3. but they also add wrinkles, right? You see a little cover 2, cover 4, too deep. The wide 9 alignment with Kosaric, but you see a lot of the three, a big nickel where there's a third safety. And the person that really is a third safety defensive coordinator is James Betcher. Because if you remember with Arizona, he had Phil Buchanan. Phil Buchanan was a third linebacker for the Arizona Cardinals. And, then he had Tony Jefferson, who he brought over here, but Jefferson couldn't crack the lineup due to injuries, whatever. But he put his touch on it too to help D'Amico. So from start to finish, I'm very impressed with D'Amico, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone like the Minnesota Vikings, who just hired their GM, who was in San Francisco while D'Amico was here for a small frame of time, I wouldn't be surprised if he nabs D'Amico Ryans as his head coach.
Nah, because hasn't he went on an interview or two?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
What's going on, man? Glad you could come on. Sorry I'm late.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Nah, it's all good, bro. We holding it down. Just was chopping it up about Green Bay before we get on to the Rams.
The Rams? Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so Tony, let me ask you this, man. What you think about the game coming up on Sunday?
Oh, I think it's going to be a tough game for them. I do. The 49er fan, I think we could beat them. The football fan, it's tough to beat a team 3 consecutive times in one season. Never mind 7. I do think the 49ers match up well versus the Rams. I do think Kyle has a slight advantage on McVay. It's kind of like just a quick example. It's a little off topic, but like when you're a top-notch karate instructor and you have your best student, you're not going to teach your best student everything you know because you don't want your best student to beat you, right? So Kyle has shit up his sleeves that they don't know about. And I'm sure McVay might have a couple things up his sleeves, but I just feel Kyle, when you have a coach, a play caller, that can walk up to the ref before they even break the huddle and say, hey, listen, watch this guy right here on this route. He's going to grab him after 5 yards. And then he just walks away, and sure as shit, that it happens. Like, so I just feel X and O wise, I think the Niners can beat this team, but it's just tough to beat somebody 3 times in a row 1 year. It's so tough, man. I remember taking it back to the Cowboy days with the Niners. Oh, again, the Cowboys beat them again. The Cowboys beat them again. What happened? 94, we built the all-star defense, and we beat the Dallas Cowboys. So it's going to be a great game. I will say this. If our front 4 can get home and Jimmy doesn't make stupid passes, I think we walk away with a W and we're going to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. It is hard to beat a team 3 times. It's only been done an X amount of times, in the season. And I think most of those times was maybe at the wild card level when the team played off. It wasn't ever like for the NFC Championship game. So, the stakes are higher with this game. But I agree with you. I think the key to the game is, of course, Jimmy not turning it over or throwing the wrong pass at the wrong time. And then I think defensively, it's the defensive line. But, that's been a strength of the team all year.
Listen, even Jimmy's going to make a stupid pass, get it done early. Like, go to first quarter, make a dummy pass. Whatever happens, happens. Because this team is so battle-tested and resilient, and it's such a tight they're such a tight team, right? They can get punched in the face and bounce back. They were down 17-0 with the playoffs on the line versus team, and they came back and beat them, right? They were down to Green Bay, and what happened? They came back and beat them. So if there's a team, it's kind of like, when you go to the gym and you're lifting like heavy weights with your hands and you've developed calluses on your inner palm from doing curls or whatever, or benching, and you're like, God damn, this hurts. And like 6 months later, you're like, whatever, and you just keep working out. You don't feel nothing. The 49ers develop a callus on themselves. So the repetitions of like getting punched in the face, like, all right, whatever, we can bounce back from this. All right, whatever, this ain't big. Let's go do our thing. So it's just very encouraging to see a team like this. And you also got to trickle in a little sprinkle, like a little of like, a team of destiny, that 6th seed, kind of like the Giants in 2009, I think it was, or 2007 when they made that run from a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they went into Dallas. They went into Green Bay. Now they're going to Levi South. And Week 18, there was more red than blue. I mean, but listen, you got to play sound assignment football all 3 phases of the game. They have to play smart. They can't shoot themselves in the foot with penalties. They have to stay healthy, and they have to just play their game. If they can do that, they're good.
Yeah, I think penalties and turnovers going to definitely be, deciding factor. Like you say, you pretty much know Jimmy going to give one away. I'm with you. Let's just kind of get it out the way, and then hopefully down the stretch you're in a game and you execute like you need to. I have been listening to some interviews. I was listening to Jalen Ramsey kind of talk about Debo. And first, well, I guess how highly he spoke of Debo was kind of surprising to me. We all know Debo a dog, but to hear Ramsey speak of him like that, and then talk about like the game plan within the game plan specifically for Debo, I think it's going to be, I guess, kind of key for, I think, Ayuk and Kittle to make some plays in the passing game, because I think they're really going to be kind of keen on Debo. Who you think, I guess, need to make some plays on the offensive end besides the regulars to kind of get the job done?
Well, due to being all right, weather is not a factor in this game. It's in a dome in Southern California. I think you're going to see the offense come back, right? I think you're going to see them make the throws, and you got to look across the board, right? Debo is the chess piece and how the defense aligns. You can all read it out. And if you look like a more of a traditional, conventional offense, like what Tampa Bay ran, they don't run that pre-snap motions and jet sweep fakes. They don't do nothing. They break the huddle. Maybe your tight end goes from the right side of the formation to the left side, 2-point stance, and then just runs his route. There's no deviation or deception with trying to trick the opponent or trying to find windows. So what Kyle does is he plays a game of chess, right? He comes out, Debo will be out wide, Mitchell will be in the back, and the shotgun flanked off to the left side of Jimmy. They'll motion, right? Now, when you motion, you can tell what the defense is doing. If you take Mitchell, go from the left side of Jimmy, motions in front of him, and splits all the way out wide, and someone follows him, that means they're in man coverage. So then what does Kyle do? Okay, let's bring Debo, motion him into the backfield next to Jimmy to replace Mitchell. And now what you're doing is you're taking a linebacker out of the box and you're replacing him with a smaller corner in the box. So what does that mean? You hand the ball off, and then you let Debo just do his thing, and you let that offensive line do their thing, right? You're playing like a size game, and we're all right. You're going to put a 5'10" corner, 195 pounds, and you got 300-pound lineman ready to jump down his throat. And not to mention the fact you're going to hand it off to a bull who's a 210 pound, right? So that makes up holes for the run game. So I do think Debo's going to be a bigger part of this. I think he's going to be a part of the run game. I think he's going to be a part of the passing game. I think Ayuk will be involved. I think Kittle's going to be involved. But the interesting thing with Kittle is you have to watch the Trent Williams situation. I think Jimmy screwed up today and he slipped because originally the injury was just an ankle sprain. Jimmy said, yeah, I know about those high ankle sprains, and they're a bitch. Well, guess what? You just spilled the beans, Jimmy. Now it's reported that Trent Ankle has a high ankle sprain. My opinion, I don't think he's going to play this week. So now you're going to have to take Kittle and flank him off McKivitz to help him with one in passing scenarios. So now you eliminate Kittle from the passing game.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be something interesting to watch. So now who fills his role? That's where I think Juwan Jennings comes in. Because I think Debo is going to be what they like to do is they kind of like to watch. Ramsey always follows Debo or Kittle. Now, if Kittle's going to be an inline blocker, they'll take Ramsey, take him off the corner, and put him as a safety, right? Because if Debo's in the backfield, I like that matchup every day, especially versus the run. It's nothing against Ramsey. I just think Debo is in a league of his own. When he gets that ball in his hands, he becomes like a pit bull. So I like that matchup in favor of the 49ers. Now you go to Juwan Jennings, who plays the game with his hair on fire. He'll block you. He'll run routes. He'll catch passes. So I think that with all the motions and the alignments and moving him here, moving him there, I think by doing that, it creates windows for Jimmy to make throws in the passing.
Oh, you going downstairs?
So with that being said, I think Jennings could have a pretty good game, and he has a pretty good history versus the Rams in the last meeting, because Sanu was in the previous one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he was eating them up last time on third down. You're right about that.
And I'm telling you right now, you're going to see if Trent Williams was healthy, and when we do our Another Benigner show, I'm going to go on and say this. If Trent Williams was healthy, I think they throw a touchdown pass in the end zone to Trent Williams. I definitely do.
Yeah, I love to see it.
And it'll probably be Debo. Like, he'll probably toss the ball out to Debo. Trent Williams will be as an eligible fake down block, go to the corner end zone, and Debo goes, whoop. That's what I want to see. I had a gut feeling that it might happen this game because, Kyle, he likes to dig in his bag every now and then. So I was pushing for it, but now that he's dinged up, I don't think we'll see that.
Yeah. And I didn't know it was a high ankle sprain. So
no one did until Jimmy spilled the beans.
Well, no, well, I seen something on Twitter this afternoon saying that he was dressed, but he was limping. And he never got to the he never got to, I don't know if he ever made it through the warm up or even tried to warm up.
No, he didn't do that. He was just on the field.
Yeah, so, it was already out there that, he was limping, even though he was dressed in uniform or whatever, that he was limping. So if Jimmy then said, he got a high ankle sprain, so, they're going to probably he probably going to still try to play. But like you said, Tony, he probably going to be inactive. So if he don't play and you got McKivitz and you got to use Kittle, I was saying the other day when we was on with the Always Faithful 24/7 boys that in the Green Bay game, man, Tom Compton was getting abused by Rashawn Gary. Yeah. So, if you look at the matchup with the Rams, they could put Leonard Floyd on that side. They could put Aaron Donald outside against Compton. They could even put Von Miller over there against him, in passing situations. And I was saying that, man, maybe they might have to put Charlie Warner on that side and try to run to the right side to try to help Compton out as far as, trying to neutralize that pass rush, because the Rams looking at the same tape we all saw in the game, and they seen how Rashawn Gary one-on-one was just taking Compton to school. So Rashawn Gary a good pass rusher, but he ain't on the level of Leonard Floyd or Aaron Donald or Von Miller. So what you think about that matchup?
So I, believe it or not, I like the matchup versus Compton versus Leonard Floyd, because Leonard Floyd's a very light edge rusher. He's more of a speed finesse rusher. He's not a power rusher. Gary, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, they were all power guys. And that's where Compton struggles. So if they want to align Floyd on Compton, I'll take that all day. The other side, I think McKivitz played pretty solid in week 18 versus Miller. He gave up that one sack where Miller just turned the corner on him, and McKivitz just couldn't get there. I don't know if it was a blown assignment, but he just couldn't get there. So listen, you got to trust Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle has this uncanny ability where he just uses the defense aggression against them, right? Aaron Donald completely gave that Tampa Bay offense fits, right? And I don't want to say this because I don't want to jinx myself, but in week 18, Aaron Donald had one tackle, and that's it. And my personal opinion, I just feel it's because the ability of Kyle Shanahan, because the 49ers don't run a conventional offense, and they don't run a conventional blocking scheme. They run a very advanced blocking scheme and an advanced type of offense. So something that looks like it's going to be blocked this way, and they'll let Sam Darnold, they'll let Aaron Donald run upfield and totally take himself out of the play and won't even touch him, because they know when he does that, they're running right where he just vacated that hole. They know it. These guys know how to block this defensive line, and they know how to use the aggression versus a lot of defenses in this league against them. And how many times, like, you guys are diehard Niner fans. You've been watching the team for a while. How many times you see Jalen Ramsey, when they play the Niners, on the sideline flipping out? How many times?
All the time.
Because it's not conventional. This is like, if you're not a high IQ and a film junkie and you don't have the ability to just on the fly, I'm not questioning him. He's probably the top 2 corner, top 3 corner. If I'll even say he's the top corner. In a one-on-one situation, he is a great corner. But when he's in a situation where it's just not read and react, he has to think. That's where a lot of defenses get in trouble versus the 49ers. That split second where you think the Niners are by you. And that's what Kyle wants. He wants the defense. Like, I'm sure you guys played football in the past. Like, your coach would always say, play on your toes, not on your heels. Defenses play on their heels versus the Niners because they need that time to be like, oh, shit, this way, but then there's the ball. And by the time they ID that and recognize that and identify it, it's done. The play's gone. They're by you. So I just think the ability of Kyle Shanahan to use the aggression of defense, to use the aggression of players against them, it's why this team is so successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, no, I said it in the Dallas game, in a playoff game against Dallas, that he was always one step ahead of McCarthy and Quinn. Even though Quinn knew him, from being offensive coordinator when, Quinn was the head coach with the Falcons, you know what I'm saying? And they repped against each other every day. Still, Kyle was always one step ahead. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why the Cowboys really came back in the game was because of the pick that Jimmy threw. And that killed the momentum that we had, because we really had control of the whole game from the start to up until that point. And even against Green Bay, it just was harder because of the weather conditions. Green Bay was better prepared to stop the running game than Dallas was. You know what I'm saying? But it was the defense and the special teams that won the game for us. So I agree with you, Tony, just in the fact that, Kyle, I think I said it the other day. I think that Kyle is already ahead of Raheem Morris before he even played the game. You know what I mean? Just because of the type of offense that we're running. So everything that they're going to try to do to counter what we normally do, Kyle already got a counter for their counter. So it's just a matter of the players executing a game plan, not making mistakes, not turning it over. If we execute and play the way that we're capable of, it's going to be a good game. But I think in the long run, they're going to come out on top just because I think they got the momentum. You know what I'm saying? I think they are a team of destiny. I've been saying that this whole playoff run. And like I said, I think you saw it against you saw what the Rams did against Tampa Bay. Man, y'all dominated the game until the fourth quarter. Till you let Tom Brady come back, and it was 27-27. You was about to give the game away. You was about to crack. I just don't think the Rams mentally tough and those pressure moments to really hold on. I think because, like you said, we got that callous on us. We've been through everything. When the pressure comes, we're not gonna crack. We're not gonna fold. We're gonna find a way to get the victory and get it done.
Yes, absolutely. It's well said.
All right, bro.
What do you guys think? I mean, do you think we come out with a dub? Do you think they could beat them 3 times in a row? Like, what do you guys think?
I think they will. I just think they're gonna find a way. I think the Dallas game, everybody was picking the Cowboys for the most part, because they had the offense, this and that or whatever, and we was on the road, but they battle tested on the road. I think the game that really gave them the confidence to know that they can take this thing all the way home is what happened last week. Because, we watched the game. We always looking at it. We know Kyle wanted to come out running the ball, but you got to give Green Bay, they do. Their defensive line, the linebacker was ready. They was on the toss action. Now we kind of hurt them with some of the counter action, and that was effective against them. Now Jimmy was on point with most of the passes until he tried to step outside of his zone, which, throwing on a run, that's not your game. So, you should have threw it away, in that moment, but you was trying to get the ball to Kittle, and that's what we don't want. If it's not there, throw it away. Live to play another down. Live to give yourself another opportunity, especially when you're in the red zone.
Yeah.
So we know that the defense, okay, the first drive, Green Bay, they came out with their script. They hit us, bam, bam, bam. But then, and they was moving the ball again till Fred got the strip. And when he got the strip, it's like we flipped the momentum in the defense. They kind of like they woke up. I had made the analysis like, man, Green Bay kind of hit him like with a sledgehammer. They was kind of like they was concussed. They needed to kind of find themselves. But once he got the strip, they found themselves defensively, and then from that point on, they dominated the game. With sacks, and Green Bay never really was a threat running the ball. So the way they won the game, just with the block kick, with the block punt, and then winning at the end, I think their confidence is sky high. They're not overconfident, but they got to believe that, man, come on. If we could go into Green Bay with the weather, with Aaron Rodgers and all of this stuff and find a way to win, we're not going to let the Rams, stop us from winning the game. So it's not that they going to overlook the Rams or they going to be overconfidence against the Rams, but they got a confidence and belief, man. Like, man, come on. To me, they're like on a mission. It's like unfinished business. Going back to 19, I think this team is better in some ways than the 19 team was, especially on the defensive line. It just, in the attitude, in 19, we kind of just ran through everybody to get to the Super Bowl. And it was like, Kansas City was the team that had been battle tested and had to come from behind. All their playoff games, they was down and they came back and they won. And we know what happened in the Super Bowl. So it's like now, it's like the shoe is on the other foot. We ain't, we not blowing nobody out. We not cakewalking our way in. We didn't have to scratch, fight, claw for everything to even get to the playoffs. So now that we didn't got to the playoffs and we got this confidence, like you said, they got the callous. They get punched in the mouth, but they don't fold because they know they can find a way to win. I just think that if it's tight in the fourth quarter and the game on the line, some kind of way they're going to find a way to win because that's what they've been doing and they got the confidence to do it. And that's going to propel them to get to the Super Bowl. And if they get to the Super Bowl, they're not going to let this one go. They're going to play these 4 quarters like it was their last quarter they ever going to play football because they know what happened, especially if it's against Kansas City, which more than likely it probably will be Kansas City. They're not going to lose it this time because they know what it took to get here, and they got another opportunity to kind of like, change the narrative on that game just based off what happened. Because in the fourth quarter, it wasn't that Kansas City was better. It's just that it's like they cracked, they choked, they just everything that they was doing, they just couldn't do. And Kansas City made the plays where we didn't make the plays. I think it'll be a different outcome this time because of what they've been going through in this year.
It was a perfect combination of Jimmy leaving things leaving opportunities on the field, and because of him doing that, it wore out the defense, right? So you go 3 and out, you miss the golden opportunity to hit Kittle probably for at least a 20 to 25-yard gain, if not a touchdown. And then you come back and you go 3 and out, and then now the defense is on the field versus a team that likes to run, sprint all over the field. Now they're gassed. I mean, there was one point Anthony Zettel was their best pass rusher in the Super Bowl. And that don't say much, especially when they signed him 2 weeks before the Super Bowl.
You're right.
So,
exactly.
Ben, what do you think?
Well, against the Rams myself, I think they got to dominate the line. The defensive line, I think, gonna come to the party for the most part. Offensively, you're telling me Trent Williams might not play. Compton sometimes suspect. And I really don't know what defense I'm getting from the Rams. Now, I did like the point you made about Tampa Bay more or less being conventional in how they go about executing, which allows them to just play fast. But man, if they're out there flying around like they was last week, it's gonna be a little hard, especially if the line don't hold up. And then with Garoppolo, at the end of the day, to me, down the stretch, he's been doing well. I just need you to continue in that vein to a certain degree, make the plays when they're there. Don't throw late to the outside, please, because Jalen Ramsey and them going to make those plays that the cornerbacks from Green Bay didn't make. But ultimately, I just win the line of scrimmage, run the ball. Hopefully it's effective. But I just need to see what defense the Rams really bringing out there. And to me, that'll kind of tell the tale.
Yeah.
Well,
it's good. Man.
You know, Kyle gonna try to, you know, come out and, you know, if he had his way, you know, he'll get the 40 rushing attempts, you know, control the line of scrimmage, control of the, you know, time of possession. You know,
but that's
to
the
me,
way
I want
the 49ers are successful, right? Let's
yeah,
look at
exactly.
their record. Let's look at their record when they rush at least 28 times a game. You rush at least 28 times a game. Jimmy makes 20 attempts a game, 22 attempts a game. The defense plays sound, and they don't shoot themselves in the foot with stupid penalties or turnovers. They usually win, right?
Exactly.
They don't lose games like that because if you look at what he did, right? Now let's take it back to the LA game to win the playoff wild card spot, right? Kyle comes out the half. I think it was coming out the half. He runs the ball 10 consecutive times. 10, right? Before I go into this, right, I'm going to tell you a story. I was on a podcast with Eric Davis, the Super Bowl champion corner for the Niners. And he told us a story with me, Mike from Nothing But Niners, Nick from Nothing But Niners, and Wayne from Nothing But Niners. He told us a story of, in practice, Mike Shanahan, who's Kyle's dad, obviously, they were working on a script for the upcoming game. And it was, you know, starting D versus starting O. And Mike Shanahan goes to Eric Davis and says, I'm scoring a touchdown on the 7th play. Eric goes, yeah, okay, whatever. Good luck. Sure as shit, he scored a touchdown on that 7th play. Why? It's the same thing you saw what Kyle did versus the Rams. When he came out, he probably said, we're scoring to the team. We're scoring a touchdown on the 11th play. Why? 10 consecutive rushes, what happens? They can't stop it, right? So now you walk up your safeties, you walk up your linebackers, your corners are coming up, right? So what happens? The 10th, the 11th play, they toss it out to the right to Debo. Debo goes looking, and what happens? Jennings releases, bangs the safety, peels off. There's nobody there. So Kyle probably said, guys, we're scoring a touchdown on the 11th play. Now, and listen, I people rip on me saying I'm a Kyle homer. I see no wrong in Kyle. I'm not saying Kyle's perfect as a coach, a head coach. But I will tell you this, an offensive play caller, there's no one better in this league. I'm sorry. You could put up whoever you want. I still would take Kyle Shanahan because he has a game in his head. He's playing the game in his head, and he is ahead of the defensive. When he calls a play, like I'm watching the Green Bay game right now at 7:48, it's 3rd and 12. This isn't a good example, but because I think they go 3 and out here. But if it's first down, he's working in his head on the play that he's calling third and short. Because he knows what's going to happen. He knows his offense. He knows the capabilities. He knows if his offense, and when I say offense, Jimmy Garoppolo, his receivers, his runners, his offensive line, if they play to the structure of the play, it's going to work. If Jimmy does what he's instructed to make the throw at this time in that window, it's going to work. It's when it goes off structure. That's when this offense bogs down, and that's when Jimmy gets in trouble. When it goes off that structure. Like when you see him pat it and try to hold it, forget it. It's done. If he don't fire it out, and that's his strength, right? His quick release. Everybody raves about his quick release. So if you're playing with an offense within the structure of the play and it requires you to flap that ball out quick and you're using your strength, it's very hard to stop.
Yeah, and that's the thing that can frustrate us is because his strength is the quick release, and just like you said, there'll be times where the ball should be out and he'll hold it, and then when the play break down, you get flustered or you try to escape or you try to throw on a run, and then you either throw an interception or you taking a sack or you getting stripped and the ball is out. And so, that's to me, like I agree with you, with everything you said. Kyle is always one step ahead, best offensive mind in the game. And you see it when you watching film, and when you go back and watch how the play was run, and that's going to be key in this game. Okay, Jimmy, when the throw needs to be made within the flow of the offense, can you make the throw and be on time and be in rhythm with it? You can't hold it in this game. You can't be late in this game, because to me, Ramsey gonna go to whoever's the hot receiver.
Yeah.
Now he may start off on Debo, and if Debo start going off, then he gonna stay on Debo. Mm-hmm. But if Ayuk start going off, I believe he'll go on Ayuk. So
what does Kyle do? Back to Debo.
Exactly, and that's where we have the mismatches. And you made a good point with Trent Williams. Hopefully by miracle he might be out there. Because Kittle, really, they don't have no linebackers that can deal with Kittle, in my opinion. Kittle is a matchup nightmare for him. I think he made the point that they'll put Ramsey on him as well. So we have the advantage with mismatches. And then my dog, Juwan Jennings, I think if Trent Williams can play, will be big, because Kyle may have to go to more 3 wide receiver sets and try to get him in a slot or outside on, and try to take advantage of, his skill set. I love him as a blocker, and then he showed up big in the game to get him in the playoffs with the 2 touchdowns and the 8 catches. So we know he's capable of catching the ball and run out the catch, physical. So, if he have to go 3 wide, if, they don't have Trent Williams in there, then I think we could still have an advantage. We just need Jimmy to just be on target with the passes. Even when he getting the ball out quick, you got to be in rhythm. If it's open, throw it in there. You can't be afraid to throw it in there. Now if you throw it in on time and in rhythm, then you got the playmakers to make the plays. I think they need to use check, in a passing game as well. And maybe, try to neutralize their pass rush with maybe some of the screens. We haven't seen a lot of screens from them, in the playoffs, but maybe this might be the time, with their pass rush, to kind of neutralize their pass rush with some timely screens, whether it's a Juszczyk or Mitchell in the game as well. So I think, like you said, Kyle had the advantage and is a step ahead offensively. We just got to execute the game plan. Defensively, D'Amico been excellent with his coverages, mixing them up. Devontae Adams was kind of killing them last week in the beginning, but once they start doubling him and taking him away, then it kind of neutralized the other receivers, because, Lazard wasn't a factor. Cobb wasn't a factor. Then, Tunyon would have been a factor, but he was hurt. So we didn't have to worry about their tight ends at all. The Rams, you got Cooper Kupp, but the person I'm really worrying about is Odell, because, we know what Cooper Kupp is, and he kind of hurt us in the last game, but Odell wasn't a factor, but he could be in this one. So what do you think about Odell being a factor in this game?
Funny you bring him up. I think if the 49ers lose this game, Odell has a big game. I think the 49ers' main objective is they're going to take – I'm not going to say they're going to take Kupp out of the game, but they're going to try to play Kupp the way they play Adams, right? They're going to give him the underneath shit. He'll come away with 10 catches for 80 yards, but nothing deep, right? They'll give him the underneath shit all day. Now, the way I look at it is they're going to say Kupp is not beating us. If you're going to beat us, it's going to either be Jefferson or it's going to be Odell. So that's the way I look at it. I think the 49ers defensive line is a favorable matchup versus the Rams offensive line. I think McVay – see, everyone keeps saying, oh, McVay knows Kyle. Kyle knows McVay. I don't think McVay really knows Kyle, because if you look at McVay's base offense, it's a 3 wide receiver set, right? It's 1 back, 1 tight end, so it's 11 personnel. So I don't see the resemblance in it, and they like to run out of 3 wide receiver sets, which now – how do the 49ers make their adjustment? Do they go nickel? Do they go big nickel and bring another safety on the field? You could go either way, because both those players, either whether it's Hufanga or it's K'Wan Williams, they both play the run really well. So it's pick your poison. Now, the difference is if you flip the script and you look at Kyle Kyle loves playing in 21 personnel, but with 21 personnel, he can go 5 wide and take advantage of your base defense, right? You have Kyle Juszczyk, who's basically like a big tight end, slow wide receiver, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have, Ayuk, you have Debo, you have Mitchell, you have Kittle. All these guys can go out and run routes just as good as majority of receivers in the NFL. So what's the real advantage? Is it 11 personnel that the Rams love to run, where they have one back and just 3 wide receivers and a tight end? Or is it I had a brain freeze. Is it 21 personnel where Kyle would come out, line up in an I formation or an offset formation and run an inside zone, run an outside zone, run a power scheme, run a gap scheme, split you out wide, run 5 wide and throw the ball? That's the most versatile because it's keeping the Rams defense in the base defense. So in my opinion, I think the 49ers have the edge, and Kyle has the edge in his philosophy of his offense because there's more versatility rather than coming out in 11 personnel with 3 receivers, single back, and a tight end, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I think Kyle is just there and McVay's here, but I don't think McVay's I'm not knocking McVay. I just think Kyle's in his a world of his own, right? And when they hired Kyle after they moved on from Chip Kelly on the Nothing But Niners show, I said something and I got roasted. And I'll tell you what it is. I said they could potentially have a Bill Walsh type coach. Now, I'm not saying winning multiple Super Bowls, the name. No, I'm not saying that. But a coach with the ability, with an offense to dissect any defense and create havoc for defenses. The ability to create, you know what I'm saying? Like matchups, attack weaknesses, take advantage of matchups, of strength versus weakness. That's what I meant by that. And there's some people on Twitter saying fire Kyle when they were on that bad stretch. Well, why are we firing Kyle when there's people running open wide field, wide open on the field, right? Kyle's job is to put players in position to execute and have success. Kyle's job's not there to make the throw. He's not a quarterback. He's a play caller. He designs a scheme that his players should be able to execute. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say something about this. I think Jimmy Garoppolo has a big game this week. I really do. I think Jimmy is going to come out and play a solid game this week. And I don't say this because I'm usually, do what you do best, run the ball 30 to 40 times, Jimmy 20 throws, control the ball, control the clock, possession, wear the defense down, keep the offense on the sideline, let them not get into a rhythm. That's my thought process with this team. But I think Jimmy might play a little different. I think Jimmy might make some throws this week. I do.
Well, then y'all give us the keys to the victory and the X factor players, offensively and defensively.
Okay, so before we do that, let me just chime in on the
ball. Go ahead. What you say?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I said before we, get into that, I wanted to make a point, about what Tony was talking about, how, McVay will come out in that, 3 wide receiver, 1 running back. And to me, in this game, his MO is to attack from that 3 wide receiver set. He gonna play to the strength of his team. You got Matthew Stafford, you got Odell, you got Cooper Kupp, you got Higbee. The running back Akers just is a factor, but I can't see them trying to run the ball against us consistently because we shut them down every time. So McVay gonna play to the strength of what his offense is, and that's Matthew Stafford with Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, and Higbee. And that plays to the strength of our defense, which is our defensive line against their offensive line. Their offensive line ain't that great. They maybe caught, Tampa Bay early, where Tampa Bay wasn't getting the pressure. But as the game got tight, you saw Tampa Bay starting to dominate the offensive line. and that's what helped them get back in the game. So to me, if you're gonna come out trying to throw the ball in the stab, because that's how they came out, in a game a couple of weeks ago. They didn't come out trying to run the ball. They came out throwing the ball. Now, Kwan wasn't playing, and they attacked Dante Johnson in a slot, with Cooper Kupp. But we know Kwan going to be in there. So that should be a matchup we should be able to handle. So if you're not going to try to come out and establish the run, and you're going to try to throw the ball or get it to your weapons, then if we beat the offensive line at the line of scrimmage and can get pressure, then that will maybe eliminate, some of what you're trying to do. We may be able to get maybe a sack or a turnover, or an interception if, we can get in there if you throw it too early. So, I just think that, defensively wise, if they're going to come out throwing the ball, then if we sign with the coverages at the linebacker level and in the secondary, and if they putting Ambry back in there to start, then I think we should be able to have a nice, we should be able to get real good pressure and get sacks against him, even though they have the weapons they have.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And that's why I'm kind of like, I don't understand McVay, right? My biggest pet peeve is balance on offense. I hate one-dimensional teams. One-dimensional teams are not successful at all. Your perfect example, the Buffalo Bills. That's a team that went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row, but they were a pass-happy team. Yeah, they ran the ball once in a while here and there. That's fine. A lot of screens. But in order to have success, right, you have a team like the 49ers. If I was the offensive coordinator for the Rams, I would run the ball. Why? They're banging bodies with the offensive line. I'm talking about the defensive line, right? They're going to get tired on that. They're not rushing the passer, so you're going to slow the rush down because now you don't know if it's pass or run. When you go just come out 3 wide and start throwing the ball around, these guys pin their ears back. They know what they know what's going on, right? And that's why I think Kyle's very successful, because I think Kyle has the ability to keep defenses off balance. So if you have a team with a Miller, a Von Miller, a Leonard Floyd, and Aaron Donald, guys like that, right? And if they keep running, you're beating them up. You're physically beating them. And they don't know when you come out on a 3rd and 4 if you're going to run or pass, or a 3rd and 6. The Niners show that they run on 3rd and 6. So they're not going to pin their ears back and tee off. So Kyle truly keeps them off balance. And that's why I think the 49ers are so successful. Because if you look at the 49ers, they don't have the biggest line, right? And that's why I think the Rams were so successful against Tampa Bay. I was talking with Mike today. I'm on the phone for Nothing But Niners, and I was saying, Mike, the reason why Tampa Bay was having fits is because they're not an athletic offensive line. The Rams are a superior athletic defensive line with speed and agility, and it gives bigger linemen like that fits, right? Let's look at our offensive line. You have Alex Mack, who's like, if he's 6'3", 305, that's big. Your biggest lineman is Laken Tomlinson, who's 6'3", 320. Trent Williams is 6'5", 320, but he runs like a point guard. So it's kind of like you have athletes that can get to the second level and cut off blocks and make this offense successful, but then on the same hand, give fits to the defense.
Yeah. So okay. So Ben Good, what you were saying? Keys to the game, hero.
Yeah. Just just what you think the keys to getting the dub, or being like any standout players you're looking for on the offense and the defense.
All right. So keys to the game on the offensive side of the ball, the Niners, they have to stay balanced. I do think Jimmy will make some nice throws. I think Kyle's going to scheme some throws open, give him windows, whether it's with motions or whatever, with concepts, and he's going to have windows to make throws. I think they have to stick with the run. They can't shoot themselves with their foot, right? They can't have pre-snap penalties, holding penalties. They can't play like, sloppy football. Because remember, you're not only playing the Rams, you're not only playing the fans, but the officials have a big say in this game. So you don't want that. You don't want to give reason for them to offset your success. If you have a nice chunk play for 25 yards, you don't want a penalty and it calls back. You know what I'm saying? So you want to play smart football. Jimmy needs to be smart with the ball. He can't take sacks. I don't know for what reason Jimmy does not throw the ball away. I don't know why. I wish he would throw the ball away. If he would throw the ball away, I think they would be a little bit more successful, because instead of taking a 7-yard sack, it would just be loss of down, balls in the same spot. You live on to fight another down. So now if it's 2nd and 6 and it becomes 3rd and 13, you automatically go to a different section on your call sheet, right? Because you went from 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 13. So those are things on the offensive side of the ball. I think, if they can establish the run, the versatility of the run, whether it's inside, outside, power, gap, outside zone, inside zone, Debo, Mitchell, whoever it is, establish the run, beat these guys up. And when you start to sense that they're starting to feel it, and that's when you got to gas them, right? Defense, the pass rush has to get home. If the pass rush doesn't get home with 4, I think Stafford could pick this team apart. Do I think they can get home with 4? Absolutely. Do I think they'll send Shark on a slot blitz? He'll probably do it once or twice this game in like a 3rd and long situation. You might see Fred Warner come on a delayed blitz. But I think if this defensive line wins that line of scrimmage, I think the Niners can control the Rams offense. And it's about being one-dimensional, right? They don't like to run the ball. They like to pass out of 3 wide. These guys know how to pin their ears back. They have the best defensive line coach in the league, Kocurek. And if you can't play for him, you can't play in the league. So special teams, I'm not asking for 40-yard returns on every punt. I'm not asking for 40-yard returns on every kickoff. I'm just looking for good, not poor, not negative field position. I don't want to see, down punts or fair catches and the ball stops at the 2-yard line. I don't want to see that shit. We need the ball at the 25 or further, or 20 or further, like 20 or further out from the goal line. No turnovers, no stupid penalties. I just want this team to play sound assignment football on all 3 phases. And if they could do that, I think the Niners can beat the Rams in LA. I do. I just feel this team is on a different level than the Rams. I'm not saying the Rams aren't good. I'm saying the Rams are good and they're a very talented team. But I just feel right now the way they are playing, I just feel they're on a different level than the Rams.
What you say,
bro? Offensively, I think they're going, they got to, establish a run. That's what, Kyle want to do. It's their attempts as well as the yardage that they get. I think if they can establish a run, then you can, do your play action. You can do your boots. The only thing with the boots is you just got to make sure, depending on, if you're booting to the right or to the left, Jimmy, if, you get a rusher in his face, he won't throw it high, force the ball somewhere where he shouldn't force the ball, but if they can establish a run and they can, do the play action, then he should have the windows like Tony was saying. And I believe, like Tony was saying, Kyle will scheme something up where even if he in the shotgun formation, he should have windows to throw the ball. We just got to pray that he can get it in there and get it in there accurately. No throwing on a run, trying to make a play, trying to make something out of nothing. If it's not there, throw it away. Live to play another down, offensively. Because like I said, I think Jennings will be a factor. Ayuk will be a factor. We got the weapons offensively to score points against them. The key is, like I said, we can establish the run, then that's going to play to what Kyle want to do. Defensively, like I was saying, the Rams' MO is to throw the ball. You didn't trade all those picks for Stafford for you to be running the ball 30 times. That's not the strength of your team. You didn't sign Odell for him to not get passes. You know, you got Cooper Kupp, who held all the receiving categories this year and was breaking records out there. You got Higbee. Higbee hurt him the first game, but I think our linebackers, Aziz, Dre, and Fred can lock him up. So I'm not saying he won't catch passes, but I think they'll be on him to the point to where he might not be a bigger factor as he was in the game against us, you know, when they played in LA before. So if they want to come out throwing the ball and they 3 wide and 1 running back, okay, that's fine. We gonna come in waves with defensive linemen. All of our defensive linemen can play good against the run, and they can all pass rush. Giving Street, all of the people they play on the second string that come in that rotation are excellent players. And I agree with Tony. Darryl Tapp and Kusera got these boys rolling right now. So all they got to do is just continue to do that. Keep coming with the pressure. The Rams don't have nobody inside that's going to be able to deal with DJ Jones and Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead was abusing them the last time. DJ Jones was abusing them the last time.
That's where they're weak. That's where they're weak, the Rams.
Yeah, they're weak inside.
They're 2 guards.
Yeah. So I think we can get that advantage inside all game. That's why when they do try to run the ball, it's not going to be effective because they're not going to be able to get the push against what we have on our defensive line. Even if they put Kevin Givens and Street in there, Street is a beast with his size. So I think we got an advantage inside. That's if we can get that inside pressure to go along with what we have on the edge, it's going to be a long day for them offensively. So if, like Tony said, if we control the line of scrimmage defensively, we should be fine. Because I think, like I said, the linebacker level, we got all 3 of our linebackers back. Sideline to sideline, we got 3 of them maybe the fastest linebackers in the league. And that's not counting Ward and Todd, who will come up and smash you. And our corners tackle. So it's not like they're going to have an advantage even if they try to get outside of, you know, the defensive line. We know we got 7 other guys that's coming to lay the lumber to them. So I think defensively we can lock them down if, like I said, if they get the pressure. Now, if the Rams block it up, if he getting it out quick, then they may have some advantage. But I just don't see where you're going to consistently be able to get that advantage if we getting the penetration and we getting the pressure from the edge and inside. You know, you either going to have to step up or try to get outside or throw on a run, which you capable because he have the arm. But we also got the speed on the edge with Ebby Khan and with Bosa and with Willis and everybody else to kind of run him down. And then our linebackers are aggressive coming up. So I think defensively, I think they'll be able to hold their own. Special teams, I agree with Tony. Just catch the ball. We don't need nothing spectacular. We don't need you to be trying to get 5 extra yards at the expense of getting stripped or losing field position. Robbie Gold got all the confidence in the world in you that you'll make the clutch kick if it come to it. Wisnowski, you've been on point with the punts. Okay, we don't need you to. Now, if you can block another punt or kick, extra point, that'll be great. But we don't need that. We just need you just to be sound, especially with the coverage units because they got a good return. So that's why we need Mitch with the hang time. Don't out kick the coverage, but don't kick it short to where the coverage can't get down there and make a tackle. So it to me is all coming down to the execution. If they execute the game plan that they didn't put in, and they don't have those stupid penalties like Tony was saying, something crazy happening with Jimmy trying to do something outside of your strengths, they can win the game. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout on either side. It probably may come down to the 4th quarter. And if it come down to the 4th quarter, I think we mentally going to be tough enough and tougher than them to make the plays that's necessary to win the game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well said, man. Well said.
Well, bro, you got anything else for Tony? Y'all got any closing remarks or comments y'all want to make about the game or anything?
Listen, I can't wait for this game to come, man. I just keep watching the Packers game, the Dallas game, the Rams game over and over, and there's a lot of positives, but they're negatives. But the positives are outweighing the negatives. Obviously, because we're still in the playoffs and we're in the NFC Championship game. I just hope. It's really tough to beat a team. Like I said, how we started this conversation off 3 times in a row. It's tough, man. It's tough. But I just think with Kyle, there is an advantage with the Niners as far as like scheming and structure and stuff like that. So I just feel that, you know, if they play to their strength, man, this team could win. This team could be anybody in the NFC. I wasn't worried whether it was Tampa Bay or them. But I tell you what, I don't think the Rams wanted to face the Niners again. I don't think they want. I think they would have rather played the Packers. I do. But listen, I just want I want to win. I want to get to the Super Bowl. And then that's a whole other animal. Like, you know, if you guys, I'll come on, we'll talk about the Super Bowl. God willing, we make it. Listen, if they play the game, they win. And that's it, man. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a hard-fought game. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta gets out to the Rams get out to a lead, and the Niners answer back. If this team, Kyle has this thing that he loves, right? He loves to defer to the second half, but he likes to score at the end of the first half, right? And if you think about it, it's pretty damn smart. It's a two possession swing. So if you're down by 14, you could be tied after your first possession in the third quarter. So it's kind of like really smart to play that way. So with that being said, yeah, I mean, that's all I got, man. I just can't wait for this game, and I hope they come out with a W. I really do. Because I work with a Rams fan, and I'm tired of hearing them.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Okay. Well, no, I got 2 points. A big factor in them also, I believe, winning a game is they didn't have to travel to Tampa Bay. If Tampa Bay wins the game, then you got to go cross country, you know, to play them, which I still think they would have beaten them because I think, you know, like I said, they're a team of destiny. But I think them not having to travel and being in the same time zone and being able to practice in your facility, knowing you just got an hour flight to go down to LA or whatever the case may be to play the game is huge because, you know, we have to play, you know, we've been playing on the road. So, you know, traveling 5,000 miles as opposed to just traveling X 100 miles is a big factor to me in the game. And
I agree with that.
Like, yeah, you know, that's huge for me.
You know what? If there's a team that could do it, I think it's the 49ers. This team
exactly. Yeah, I think they would have went to Tampa Bay and, you know, pulled it out too, you know, but just the wear and tear on their bodies
on the road. I don't know if they just like being with each other. The camaraderie. Whoa, God damn, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, being together in the hotel, like, you know, with the COVID restrictions, how they can't go freely, like, you know, they spend time, they bond, the flight. I just think this team plays so damn well on the road. It's actually scary. They play better on the road than they do home.
Exactly. So, no, like I said, I think, you know, the fact that they didn't have to travel is going to be huge because they're able to stay in a time zone. And, you know, like I said, it's an hour flight down there. So they've been able to, you know, get the rest. And then, like I said, man, I just think even if the Rams do jump on them early, they just going to find a way to respond. They just, to me, I've been saying it all along. Y'all playing with house money, man. It's just like y'all don't have nothing to lose because everybody's picked y'all to lose. And
that's another thing. That's a good point.
Yeah, I told Breezy that when I after we had them on for the Cowboys game, I said, man, after they beat the Rams, I said, man, they're gonna shock the world because nobody is expecting us or was expecting us to beat the Cowboys. Nobody expected us to go into Green Bay with them coming off the bye, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and winning. And now most people are picking the Rams. And then another factor is that crowd is gonna be our crowd. We didn't bought all the tickets. They were trying to stop us, and the players were trying to buy the tickets and all of that. But it's still gonna be our crowd. So when the defense is out there, the crowd gonna be roaring for the defense to get after them. On offense, we gonna have the advantage. We shouldn't have to go to no silent snap count really, because it's gonna be our crowd. So that's in our favor. I just think, man, we just got stuff in our favor that we didn't have in 19. You know what I mean? It's like we getting all the lucky breaks, we getting all the lucky bounces to where things in the past wouldn't go our way. It would go against us. We getting it this time. So that's why I say I just believe we're a team of destiny, because I said it last week, man. When was the last time? And I've been a 49er fan since 84. I'm 47. I don't ever remember in a game where they got a punt block for a touchdown and a block off a field goal, extra point, or whatever it was in a game. That ain't never happened as long as I've been watching them. So that's what I'm saying. Man, I just feel like they gonna win it and they going to the Super Bowl because they the team of destiny, because they're getting all the breaks and all the advantages going their way.
No, that's a good point.
Well said, bro. Well said.
I'm tired of the disrespect from this media. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. They ain't giving us no love.
Like
no,
how much?
No respect,
listen,
Tony. I agree.
Like you said, it totally takes the pressure off the Niners. It totally they just show up and play. They're 6 seed, right? There's more pressure on the Rams right now.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean that's all I got. I just want to watch the game, man.
Yeah, well, no, we ready. Everybody been ready. Because now it's Friday, so go when we got Saturday, then Sunday, and then it's over analysis and by paralysis and stuff. So everybody analyzing it from every angle, but it's about to get to the point in time where the talk is over. Time for these boys to go out there and do what they do, and so we just gotta have the confidence to know that, man, they battle tested, they done been through it, and they gonna go ahead and find a way to get this victory, and then we gonna have God willing 2 weeks to get ready for the Super Bowl opponent. Which I'm gonna say this as well: a lot of people sleeping on Cincinnati, and I think Kansas City, if they lose, they gonna lose because they overlooked Cincinnati, even though they played them the first time and Cincinnati beat them. You know what I'm saying? See, to me, this is the easiest of the 4 AFC Championship games they had. Opponent wise. And so if Kansas City lose, it could be because they was overconfident, or they was already looking ahead to the Super Bowl. Because see, in their mind, they got unfinished business too because of how they lost to Tampa Bay. So they want to get back as well, just to prove that we lost to Tom Brady, but we should have been a team that maybe could have won 3 straight Super Bowls if we would have played our game. So, like I said, the only way I think they could lose to Cincinnati is if they overlook them and Cincinnati catch them with some turnovers or something. But in most cases, I just don't see what Cincinnati got enough, to deal with Mahomes. But like I said, we'll see. You got to play the game. You don't know what's gonna happen until it's played. So we'll just see what happens.
Yes, sir.
So man, go ahead and plug Nothing But Niners, man, because I've been a subscriber really, man, since 19, and I'm gonna just tell a quick story.
Good.
I was on my YouTube page, man, just scrolling through, right? And I saw it on there. So I said, man, let me check this out. And I really wasn't subscribing, big, on like the full football thing. I just, my YouTube page at that time was just more or less just music and stuff. But I saw y'all on there, man, and I think I can't remember what show it was, but I know it was during the Super Bowl season. So I just took a chance and, started listening to it. And then y'all were just breaking the game down and, just, y'all enthusiasm, y'all passion for it, man, just turned me on. So I subscribed. So I've been a subscriber since 19, bro. So just to have you on, man, is awesome. Cause like I said, I never thought we would be even trying to do this, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, just want to give y'all props for that. Cause like I said, I just was scrolling through my YouTube and saw y'all subscribe, been a subscriber since 19, man, try to catch, as much of the shows as I can. And like I said, man, just how y'all break it down and y'all have the people on and, everything else. And, like I said, man, it's just an honor for me to have you on. You know what I'm saying? I had Breezy on, want to try to get Mike on and Nick on too. You know what I'm saying? Just to, because to me, like y'all veterans in this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how it roll and, the impact that y'all had, you know what I'm saying? Just in, just in covering it, man, is just awesome. So like I said, it's just an honor for me to have you on. And, just to be like, man, 3 years ago, I'm subscribing to y'all. Now I'm having a conversation with you, so it's just cool for me.
Listen, man, Mike and Nick approached me when they started that. And, I did it because I'm not trying to be like a know-it-all. I mean, I do have a big background in football. I played it. I coached it. I just love the game, and I love talking about the Niners. Um, I hooked up with them, joined them. You got NY to the Bay, Mike, the other Mike we have Breezy, me, myself, Nick, Mike. We got a good crew. We got a tight knit crew. Eric Crocker comes on. If you don't, that you want somebody good, try to get Crocker, man. Crocker's.
I tried to. I'm gonna try to reach
Cool.
out to him again. I was trying when we first started. I tried to reach out to him. I know he got a lot of stuff going on, but no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he's
try
got
to
a
reach
lot.
out to him again.
Crocker's got a
Yeah, I'm gonna
lot
try
going
to reach
on,
out to him.
and Crocker, I got a lot of respect for Crocker because he's the type of guy he started with this, then he branched to this, and he said, you know what, I love what I do, I like what I do, I'm going all in, and now look at him, he's like all over the place, so it's good for him.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
took a shot, he's motivated. I got nothing but respect for that guy, but he's a good dude. I went to a game with him at Levi's versus Pittsburgh. He's just a straightforward dude. I got a lot of respect for him. He's very knowledgeable.
How do y'all think, Tony? I just wanted to tell you I appreciate you, bro. I got to get out the building. Hold it down for us, Troy. Stay warm, Tony, bro. Out there with that snow. You understand?
Yeah.
Y'all take it easy. Bang, bang to the game,
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime, let me know.
Yeah, no, man. We gonna try to have you on again, man, so we could chop it up. Hopefully, after they win this game, we go be able to get it in, 2 weeks. They're gonna, gonna overanalyze and break, the Super Bowl down. But no, man, it's just been a pleasure having you on, man. I know it's been a long day for me and a long day for you. So I'm gonna let you go, man. Like I said, man, I'm gonna try to reach out to Crocker. And just let Mike and Nick know, man, that I'm gonna probably be trying to reach out to them, man, so I could get them on, just to get their perspective on things. Cause like I said, I'm a fan of y'all's, you know what I'm saying? And just to have y'all on our show, us just starting out, man, it just, like I said, man, it's gold for us. You know what I'm saying?
Mike will come on, definitely. Nick will come on. Definitely they'll come on. The thing is why we're so good is because we all believe and like the same thing. We just like talking about 49 football, and we all have different views and points, and then that's pretty much it.
So like I said, man, it's been a pleasure having you on, man, and just go ahead and plug your Twitter handles and everything, and nothing but Niners so the people will know, which they already know, but it ain't gonna hurt for you to do it again.
Yeah, just check us out at Nothing But Niners. You can follow me at NJ9erFan499. Anybody wants to reach out, talk 49 football, hit me up. I'll talk, no problem. Hit me in a DM, shoot me a follow, and we'll, whatever you want to talk about, Niner football, draft, free agency, whatever. I'll shoot the shit with you, no problem.
And that's what I want. I'm gonna say this too. Gotta get you on the show for the draft, man, because like I say, I love like the whole draft process and the Senior Bowl and all of the combine, and I try to watch every pick of the draft for every team because that's how you get to know the players and know what the other teams are doing. So, God willing, we definitely gonna have you on for a draft show so we could get your insight, for what we doing, with the Niners, but what the rest of the division is doing, even some of the other teams in the league. So I just wanted to let you know that too.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt. I love the draft. I grew up from when I remember. I think I started watching the draft when I was 14 years old. 14, 15. And my dad used to let me stay home from school on Friday to watch it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just love it. You know what it is? It's not only just Niners related. I was just fascinated on how teams build the foundation of their teams. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I always just was very interested in that and like their thought process and how to evaluate the talent, how they rank it per round. Like last year, Mike and I, we rented out a suite in a hotel. We set up like a whole mock draft, like a draft room with like a big whiteboard. And ranked. We had like a Nothing But Niners board, and we ranked all our players that we wanted, and what rounds we thought they were in, and we did pretty good. We were off a couple, but pretty much we were there. So You know, it's just interesting. It's so the free agency is interesting and how they, spend the money, the contract structures. It's everything is just so interesting to me. The business end of it. But
no, I didn't see y'all draft show, so I know y'all be going in detail, and that's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was breaking it down for like certain players or corners or whatever. This last draft when we was trying to see what corners they was gonna take, I know y'all had, y'all like certain players, versus this player, that player. So no, I didn't see your draft show. So that's what I'm saying. I want to get you on to get your insights when it's time for the draft guard willing to come, based off, what draft picks they have, and then, depending on what happened, going forward with Jimmy, if they're gonna keep him trade him to a team, and if we get draft compensation for him, how that's gonna affect what they're gonna do in the draft. So like I said, man, I'm looking forward, God willing, to having you on for that. So like I said, I'm gonna let you go, man, because like I said, I know it's been a long day, and then it's the weekend and everybody getting hyped for the game. So from a sidekick and co-host being good, for Tony from Nothing But Niners and the Nothing But Niners crew, man, this P Warrior _9 for Faithful Boys, man, just thankful for my brother coming on and chopping it up with us, man. Just be looking out for us. On Sunday we're gonna do our pregame, halftime and post-game show, and we looking to be on a celebratory end of this victory as the 49ers take on the Rams. So with that being said, man, it's all love, it's peace, and man, bang bang, Niner gang, all out victory Sunday, and we're looking forward to going to the Super Bowl. So with that said, we out. Peace. All right.